It's like you get cracked open and then you get to see all the pieces in there, right? Inside yourself, and really getting to know yourself and trusting yourself on a very, very deep level.
Intergalactic beings of multi-dimensional realities. Welcome to channeling. The heart of the mother beats so wide and free. The heart of the people sing so wide and free. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, oh come, be free. Oh come and see. Aho, we are all gathered together. I can feel our lovely spirits, our entities, our guides, the many that are here with us together today. And I am so excited to welcome Corina Angela Winn to Welcome to Channeling. Welcome, Corina. Welcome to Channeling on this beautiful, beautiful day.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Great to be here. Thank you.
I'm love that you're here with me, and I can tell by what you've been creating that you really have jumped in to this experience of our multi-dimensional natures, of all that we are, of accepting it in a great big way. And I'm just excited to chat with you, chat with some of the entities that you channel, and talk about your lovely book, Transference. And I just want to start out by mentioning that book. It's called Transference, Connect to Your Soul Self. And in it, you have 28 self-discovery exercises, which I think is fabulous. I think offering these kinds of exercises, because there's such a variety of people here, it gives us each a chance to open to a new aspect of ourselves, or open in a new way to ourselves. And I'm excited to talk to you. I would love for you to just quickly tell your story of how you opened into your calling and the specific beings that perhaps you channel most of the time, and I guess we'll start with that. I wanted to say, and what you learned, but let's just bite off a little bit of that chunk.
Thank you, because there's a lot to unpack there. So
Yes.
thank you. Bit by bit is good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this transference all began in 2019. So I've been meditating since I was a teenager. So I go into these very deep meditations. And unbeknownst to me, Edgar Cayce popped up in one of my deep meditations. And I have no background of, studying him. I had honestly, I had no idea who he was. And it's almost embarrassing to say that, because so many people go, what? But I didn't have a family that was, into his readings or studying him or anything. So I really didn't know a lot about Edgar. So when he popped up in his physical form, and he was in his 30s, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Edgar." And I'm like, okay, hi. You know, who is
And
this
you're like,
being?
Edgar, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm like,
I,
and even the name, I'm like, Edgar? Okay. So,
yeah.
and it was almost like a deer in the headlights. And he was almost pleased with that because I had no frame of reference of preconceived notions of who this person was. So it was almost like a test, like, do you know who I am? And he goes, I'm Edgar Cayce. And I still went, you know, and it was interesting because I mean, I could see us both here and now, in the present, but then I could see almost my oversoul looking like to see what my reaction was and what his reaction was. Very interesting. Um,
Mhm.
but I still was, I just didn't have anything to grab onto the information. And all I could come up with was, isn't he like a psychic or something? That's all I could come up with. So he was quite pleased with that. And we began a dialogue. So that's how it began. And he said to start writing this information down. And I did. I've been an automatic writer since I was 7 years old. So things would just come in and I would just pick up a crayon or a pen or a pencil and begin to write short stories. So I'm 54 now. So I've been, I call it channel writing, but it's, more people resonate with automatic writing. So same
Mhm.
thing. But so that's how it all began. And he asked me to write these books for him and Gladys. And I was really on the fence because I started doubting and really questioning what was happening. And this is all part of the book because this book is a personal process of what I was going through on a daily basis. So it's a snapshot of a play to play, pretty much of what I was going through and what I was discovering with Edgar and Gladys, and a step by step process of how this all came to be. And so it's a page turner. So it's like, oh, okay, oh, this happened this day, and this happened the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So in a snapshot, that's how it all began in 2019 of this whole process. And it took me 4 months to write the first book. And then there was a few weeks period of time where it was a break. And then we went into the second book, and the second book took 4 months to write. And then there was another couple week break. And then the third book was written. So the second and the third book all have been handwritten, but now I'm putting it into the computer. So doing that.
I'm sure that's it's a dedication of love,
Mm,
doing
yeah.
all of that.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
really have a soft heart hearing about your process because
Yeah.
when I was writing as well, I
Mhm,
mean, the what I was being opened during the process of it
mm,
coming through. And
mhm.
there were days where I was like, okay, I need to be with what just opened within me for a
Yes.
little bit here. I mean, it was a pure dedication.
Mhm,
It was my life was me opening to the truths that were coming through me.
mm.
And it
Yes.
was
Yeah.
really and it was very impactful. And there
Mhm,
were moments when there were a few days where I couldn't write because I
mhm,
was trying to, I didn't know if I could continue. And inevitably, whatever I was processing through was actually fodder for what
mhm,
I was next writing.
mhm,
And so it was just really a beautiful process for me, but challenging because you are kind of bearing your
mhm.
soul process
Yeah.
out right in front of everyone to
Mhm,
see. But it's so powerful because for me, what was coming through became more succinct and
mhm,
there were actual tools and it became more concrete. And
mhm,
so that's what I loved about my process. Is
mhm.
there something specific for you in your process that really, that is tender to you that you found occurring while you were writing?
Oh, yes. I mean, several, but being present, really trusting myself, what I was translating. So all the information would just come in, and just, and loads, and writing, but then integrating and acclimating to the frequencies, to the energy, all of those things had to come into play. And there, I too had days where I was like, what is going on? This is just nuts,
Mhm.
and questioning and doubting, but that is part of the process. There, and it's in the book as well. Some days I was like, this is just no, what is this? Is nothing. This is, I'm not, I don't want to do this anymore, but it was that devotion and opening up. It's like you get cracked open, and then you get to see all the pieces in there, right? Inside yourself, and really getting to know yourself and trusting yourself on a very, very deep level. And I think this whole process of, if you want to call it awakening, or, your writing process, or a process in relationships, whatever it is, right? You acclimate to it because it's new, it's brand new to you. You're awakening to the unknown because, you don't know what you don't know. And, it takes incredible courage and bravery to step forth in your truth, and to explore, and to have that insatiable curiosity to keep going. And I think, for
Mhm.
me, when I said yes to Edgar and Gladys, that was huge. I really, they came back to me a couple days after, the process started in 2019 every day. And then it took, a couple days, and then they would show me, and, Edgar would say, "Oh, go look at this article, go find this article." I'm like, "Okay." So, I would come back, ground myself, and then go look for this article, and then I would find it. I'm like, what is happening here? And then the same thing when Gladys came in. She came in as this beautiful, soft, angelic energy. And I just went, "Oh
Mm.
my gosh, who
Yeah.
is this? Who is this?" And Edgar said, "Oh, that's Gladys. Say hello." And I was like, "Hello." And then questioning, like, what, okay, what am I experiencing? Because it's very visceral too. It goes through my entire body as I'm writing. So it's
Yes.
this huge process that, my personal process that I go through to come to the question, or even, try to think about a question, or from my heart. It's like, what do I want to ask, this person, Edgar and Gladys. But when she came through, all I heard was beloved. And my first
Mm.
thought, I went into, I could feel myself shift into ego. Oh, well, that is his wife. And it wasn't his wife, but I could feel the shift. So that's what started happening too. I could feel when I was really truly in my heart, and I could feel when I shifted into ego, thinking, "Oh, I know what beloved means," and I didn't. So that the discernment of the shifts of frequency, I began to notice more and more. It was like this beautiful teaching realm
Mm.
of, learning from them and learning from myself of what I was experiencing. But I wrote down beloved. And so after, and this is all in the book as well, but
Yeah.
to just give you a snapshot of how I got to where, I went, oh yes. Um, so, when I wrote down beloved, I thought, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's his wife." But Gertrude is actually his wife. But I went into the computer and I started searching, Edgar and Gladys, and nothing was coming up because I'm a horrible speller, and I spelled
Mhm.
Gladys wrong. So I know, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, how come I can't spell? Anyway, I honestly am a horrible speller. I'm getting better, but anyway, I spelled it Gladice. So nothing was coming up. But Edgar started, popping up, articles and information about him. And then something came in and said, keep reading, keep reading. And I kept reading, and I I found this article 3 paragraphs down that explained who Edgar and Gladys were. And then
Mhm.
I went, okay, whoa, what's happening? Because Gladys worked with Edgar, since a young teenager, and was with him for the duration of his life and helped him
Yeah.
process and take notes for all the, all the patient or, clients that he was seeing, all the readings that he did. And she was a huge, huge integral part of the ARE and developing all of that and continuing Edgar Cayce's legacy after he died in 1945. So she
Yeah.
was a huge integral part. So then I went, oh, okay, what's really going on here? And so then the next day when I went back in and connected in with them, then they asked, will you please write these books for us? And I said, absolutely, yes. So that's a, when you say yes to yourself, you're not only saying yes to yourself, you're saying yes to something much, much bigger than you would ever imagine. When I said yes, I had no idea that, these 3 books, 4 books, 5 books would be coming, and so much information and the transformation that I have gone through. It's just been extraordinary, but in the beginning, I had no idea what I was saying yes to. And I'm just so incredibly grateful that I did say yes. But again, it goes back to, really trusting. What are you really trusting? What are you hearing? Are you really trusting yourself? And what are
Yeah.
you dedicated to while you're here? So, yeah.
I think those are really wise words because people who are opening, if there is some of that insecurity, are you feeling a deepening of trust?
Mhm.
Are you
Yep.
feeling a deepening of trust? Are you feeling like you're building a foundation of
Hmm.
inner, um, an inner foundation that
Yeah.
feels like you're actually strengthening yourself?
Hmm.
And so, like, that's a really good sign
Hmm.
that that what you're doing is actually a part of what we're doing here, on this
Absolutely.
earth.
It's a part of
You
all
know?
of our process, really. I mean, it's really truly going into the core of your soul, and connecting with your soul self and why you came here and, why did you come here, and really opening that up and exploring it. After I wrote the first book, it took 4.5 years for me to acclimate to all because I went through all the exercises, all the 28 exercises. It took me 4.5 years to really come to where I am right here, right now. So it was just this huge, long process for me. And but it was my process. I needed to go through those exercises. I needed to incorporate, and I wanted to incorporate. I wanted to understand more deeply about myself, about why I'm here, and about other people, and how to connect with different people and all of those things. I mean, it's the ripple effect of when you go through all these exercises. It just opens up so much of who you are. And I think without those processes, um, we don't lay the strong foundation, right? I mean, it's
Right,
it's like if
right.
we just kind of grab it out of the air and believe, oh, that's true. Okay, let's go forward.
Yeah,
There's not, that solid, strong foundation. And
yeah.
I think when we have that, we're immersed in it. It's like the lotus, it's like it's born from the murky water, it's swimming, it's growing in that murky mud, that floaty, murky water. And
Mhm.
then when it starts to come up, it's like, yes, it sees the sunlight
Mm,
and begins to grow one petal at a time. And I think
mhm.
that's the beauty of the lotus, but I think that's the beauty of foundation, a strong foundation of where we come from. So,
Uh, I think that's beautiful representation of the process. Part of I'm feeling a few things right now, which is fun. Um, I was gonna make a comment, but Edgar is here and I can feel him, and he's saying, she gets to channel me and share one of these processes. I'm like, "Okay, Edgar, we'll just jump right on in."
yeah.
No need to postulate more.
Yeah.
Um, he's excited to share some things today. And so, since, of course, you've had so much experience with him, I'd love for you to share what you feel is coming through, um, and what you would like to share with us today, because we're all here to learn. We're all here to open to our depths. And
Mhm,
so we say yes, and we would love to hear from you, Edgar and
mhm.
Gladys. If Gladys is around, Gladys is around too.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear from you and share with us today what you would love to share with us.
Mhm. So I have they're already here and have been here and are there. So they are a part of the process of how I'm speaking now. I don't
Hmm.
go into okay, now I'm channeling. It's not like
Hmm.
that. It's a very different channeling process for me.
Hmm.
And even the word channeling, I like to it's almost like a translation of information. It's a
Yes.
receiving and then translating, but they're a part of me. They have been a part of me ever since they came in 2019. So they're always with me. They're always here. And immediately when I begin to talk about the book, they're here. So,
Yes.
and I witnessed this. I started a group, an in-person group with the book, and everybody would have the book. And the first group was 12 people, and you could literally we sat in a circle and you could feel the energy come in. It was just extraordinary. And I did, I'm just sitting there, and they're there because they're so present. This book is alive. I mean, it's just extraordinary energy. And so I would hold it, and I had everybody ask a question out loud. They would hold the book. They would hold
Hmm.
it like here, I'll get, they would hold the book just in their hands like this and
Hmm.
ask a question, and then they would open up to the page and read it out loud, and that was their answer. And it
Hmm.
happened with each and every person, all 12 of them. And
Hmm.
just to witness and be the observer, the neutral observer in that situation was just extraordinary. So they're already here. So
Yes.
talking about the lotus, and so they're here explaining how that foundation is so important, and how integrating this information, your information, everybody's information that they have to bring forth at this time, is so important for their own internal process. So the whole book is explaining of how to connect to your soul self. What is your soul self? Where is your soul self? And for you as an individual to experience that for yourself, because everybody has their own process. No
Mhm.
two processes are, they could be similar, but it's your own internal beautiful process. And I think, when you really deep dive into that and you're devoted, and your devotion just shines and you say yes to yourself, that's when the real beauty begins to open. That's where the gateways open. That's where the real work opens. And
Mm.
for you is your internal process. And then when you process it, then you can share it with other people so they can get their own process. So it's not cookie cutter. It's not, one book fits all, one shirt fits all. It's nothing like that. So bringing them forth, they're already here, they're already with us. And again, every time I reference this book, they're it's like they're here, and
I love it.
they're here to help and convey messages and be in the ripple effect for
Mm.
change, because that's where we're going. We're changing the world every step of the way, every day, every second, every moment, and to be present with that. And what are we going to do in that moment? What are we going to share in that moment, in this moment?
Karina, this is brilliant because you just talked about this process that you did with your book with the peoples around the circle. And it's so funny because as you were talking, I was like, phew, I was kind of opened to kind of a certain space, but then I was reminded you have a book too. So I feel like we're going to be playing, well, I call it a game. I do what's called soul play with people. This is kind of my love. It's called, to soul play. It's like
Yeah.
we get to play in discovery. from ourselves. But I want to do this, what you just described with you and me, but
Mhm.
I'm going to grab my book as well.
Yeah, do it.
And we're going to have a
This
little,
is
it's going
fun.
to be a little game.
I like
Everyone's like, so let's do this. I'm just going to grab it.
it.
Oh my gosh.
This is fun.
I love it because we opened up talking about, sharing what we've done with
Mhm.
each other. And so this is my book, Our New Story,
Nice.
Guides
Nice.
in the Garden. So I would love to do this. And I feel like we're inviting in I I can feel my guides here. And of course, like you spoke, whenever we're present and we enter into the field, they're always there. And I'm feeling that more and more in my life. There's
Yeah.
not such a separation at
No.
all.
Mm-mm. Yep.
It's just I'm an open field, and it
Mhm.
depends on what I'm focused on. It depends on what I'm invested in at the moment, as to kind of it's almost like my signal, I guess you could say.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
And so I'm excited. I feel like this is so funny. I'm feeling this little glee inside of myself of, look, we get to share the beauty of what we're experiencing together,
Yeah.
in this process. So you have your book and I have mine that
Mhm.
came through us. And this is a part of, what channeling is it's like
Yeah.
we birth through us in a way our own medicine, which then can
100%.
bless other people and
Mhm.
help them birth their own medicine.
Mhm.
And a part of what was
Mhm.
gone through here at the end of the book was really, um, them offering tools for people to open and find their own answers. And
Mhm.
that's what
I
ultimately
love
we're
that.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ultimately, what we're doing is we're allowing ourselves in the wisdom that can come through us to
Mhm.
come through us.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to take a little deep breath because I'm super excited. And in this process, of with the book, you ask a question. Is that kind of what it is? You ask a
Mhm. You
question.
ask the question out loud, so it's not internal.
Mhm.
So, even in the book, the process is vocalizing the questions, vocalizing what you want, or what you need more information about, whatever it is. But it's the vocal, the tone that is permeating out into the ripple effect. A lot of people internalize, their questions, but to verbalize it out, because then it's like it becomes amplified. So yeah, ask
Mm,
your question um,
okay.
out loud, and then open, and then see what you get.
Okay. Do I ask the question and you open your book for my question?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Yeah, I think that's great. Because we're all connected and you and I are connected
Yep.
and we can do this.
Mhm.
So I do have a question and this is going to be really fun.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is I'm thinking of a certain person and I want to open up the experience of intimacy with them more. And how can I do that in a balanced manner and one that is representative of really all that I am?
Okay. So that your exercise, it came to the exercise focus in. So
Okay.
here is a brief summary and description of the focus in exercise. You can choose a partner who is willing and able to participate in this focus in exercise. And it goes into exactly how you set that up. But it's all about grounding yourself and breathing and exhaling and figuring out where the tension and anxiety is within your body. Okay, so it's all about
Mhm.
focusing in and releasing. With your out breath, visualize or feel the tension or anxiety flow out through your breath. So
Mhm.
continue to do this for 5 minutes. Take 3 more deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling slowly. Focus in on any tension or anxiety within your body. So so it's a focus in on where is it in your body. So a lot of people just think, oh, okay, it's in my, I'm just going to release it. No, the anxiety is within your body. Maybe you have it in your shoulder, maybe you have it in your chest. So it's really pinpointing where it is to actually release it through your breath.
Yes.
And then it goes into ground yourself and feel yourself in your body. Hold your hands together and focus on the sensations in your hands. Ask yourself the following questions and answers out loud, whether you choose to do this exercise by yourself or with a partner. So, while touching your head with your hands, ask yourself or your partner these questions. What does your head feel like? So it's going through, really focusing in on touching your parts of your body of like, what does it feel like? So it's just
Mhm.
really grounding in to focus in of what it is that you're wanting and how you will get to where you want to be. And then it goes into example questions of, can you feel your heart beating within your body? And can you hear it? Can you feel your heart beating and can you hear it? So feeling
Mhm.
it and actually hearing it. Are you really, your clairaudient abilities, are you really hearing that heartbeat? And then,
Mhm.
and then streamlining it with feeling it. So that's the connection as well. Is your
Mhm.
heart beating fast or slow? So this is really going into detail. And then while you're sharing these answers with your partner or within yourself, you're really focusing in on your body. And so then it goes into examples of how you can go in deeper with this exercise. But a snapshot, this whole exercise is about you focusing in on what your desire is. What is your body telling you? If you ask your heart a question,
Mhm.
how do I have this relationship go deeper? Your heart will answer you. So it's really about honing in on your strengths and abilities of asking the question and getting your own answer, because it's very clear. You can close your eyes and hold your heart like this and ask your heart the question, and your heart will answer you. So it's
Yeah.
really dialing in. So these are some of the exercises that are in this book that are just so, I mean, you could go way deeper than this. I mean, this is almost like these exercises are, an opening, but then you can go deeper and deeper and deeper and expand these exercises. So
Yeah.
that's what came up for
It's
you.
it's a it's a way it's a way of exploring, and I love it because as you were reading, I imagined in my energy system actually sitting and doing the process with this person. And what's beautiful is that this person does his own breathing exercises.
Oh.
And so when if when we if we both can connect in that way, if
Hmm.
we can and be in each other's presence,
Yes.
you know,
Hmm.
if they're willing, that can increase, I think, more of the space of feeling. Like, I love the question of, like, can you feel your heart? Like, what, can you hear? What are you hearing? Those kinds of things. I think
Hmm.
those are more of the types of um intimate questions that I would and dialogues that I would want to have with this person,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? To me,
Because it
that's
allows you to go
intimacy.
deeper and deeper. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a pure connection there. I mean, and
yeah,
then you can, take your hand palm and put it to his heart, right? I mean,
yeah,
and same. And I mean, you
yeah,
could go deeper and deeper into this, but it opens up a dialogue in a very different way, in a
yeah,
very authentic, real way. And
absolutely.
it's going back to the basics, but so deeper. It goes deeper
Mhm.
and deeper and deeper with these exercises. So
I
yay,
love
I'm
that.
excited. That's exciting.
That was beautiful. I loved that. I loved that.
Mhm,
I mean, and it goes right along with kind of some of the inner direction that I got. But
mhm,
this, if one has kind of this exercise per se, it
mhm,
kind of can be a little bit more of a guide
mhm.
rather than,
Yeah.
because when you're being very intimate and open with someone,
Mhm.
sometimes, things can get a little bit derailed. It's like
Yeah.
it goes off or whatever. But
Yeah.
if you have kind of a little bit of a formula, a little bit of a guide to help um, to help guide you through an experience together,
Mhm.
then you don't have to be so afraid, "Oh, no, I have to make this perfect,
Yep.
I'm not sure what I'm doing." It's already there, it's set for you, and
Mhm.
it's kind of like the container or a loose container
Mhm.
is offered there, a guide, so that you can simply be in the experience with the person.
Yeah. Yep. You can utilize it, definitely.
Yeah, I love
Yay.
that. I love
So
that,
should I
yeah.
ask you a question? And
Yes, ask me a
okay.
question, ask
Yeah.
me a question, let's see what comes.
Let's see. Okay, so my question is, for me personally, what shall I focus in on right here, right now? Yeah, that's my question.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is also a process. But
Interesting.
this is interesting because I'm not sure how this is gonna apply,
Mhm.
because it's a process called What You Do Unto Others,
Mhm.
interactive
Mhm.
process, but
Yep.
it's a physical process. And so, I guess as you go through this process, I guess I get to send you a book, Karina.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you.
And as you go through this process, it's saying the introduction, it's about two interactive processes around polarity and magnetism. Okay?
Mhm.
So it's surrounding polarity and magnetism.
Mhm.
And the first interactive process is called a what do you do unto others. Make sure you have a writing utensil, water, and all the rest of your preparations taken care of. Engage in this process while you're on a cushioned ground. Being on a cushioned carpet is ideal. Do not participate in this process on a hard floor. Now, I've got to tell you, when I wrote this process, I was like, I'm not sure what this does. And then
Mhm.
I did it myself,
Yeah.
and it was so interesting to feel. It's
Mhm.
it was like a switch in my system.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so at first I was like, I don't get this. And then I did it a few times and I'm like, wow, okay, I get to do this more often. This is
Mhm.
interesting.
Mhm.
Because to me, what it feels like is it if it it feels like you for me, it felt like I got to experience the reception of what I was giving,
Mhm. Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So
Totally get it.
I'm gonna just read it out loud,
Okay.
and if anyone's here, they can just do this process as well, okay?
Mhm.
We're just having fun today. So, says, "Please take 3 deep breaths, feeling the connection high above your head and then down to the floor and into the earth. As soon as you feel this connection and stability in the flow, bow in gratitude and then lie back onto the floor. Closing your eyes, relax and breathe deeply, feeling your sternum rise and fall. Focus on the sternum as you breathe and release any excessive energy within the body. Feel how, in order to breathe, your lungs rise and expand beyond the sternum. The sternum right now is this central point, being the front vertebrae of the body. Feel the sensation of your body as the ribs expand and contract. Feel the energy moving up and down through the sternum as you breathe. Take your time here, establishing this central point of energetic flow. You may feel into how the ribs then round the body and then meet your back spinal column. but do not seek to energize the back. Simply feel the connection, the energy from the front, extending and reaching. You may view this system as a whole. There is the structure, which holds a form, muscle tissue, and connective tissue, then tying into the heart, lungs, and other organs. Breathe and elongate your breaths as you are here in this awareness. Open all of your senses to this. Listen. You may hear or feel your heart pumping. You may feel a softening of the connective tissue as you breathe deeper, allowing the lungs to expand and the sternum to rise with it. Yes, relax, relax. There will be a moment when you feel a ripple, a releasing through your back spinal column. Breathe in and out from above your head, down to beyond your feet, and then do as follows quickly. Lift your hands straight in the air and then back, resting beside your head, and roll over on either side, now facing down. Breathe and feel the sensation within your body. If you have a thick cushion, position your head so that you may breathe, but do not interrupt the alignment of the body. Be present and here with this flow. Something dramatic is happening within your system. Lay here for at least 10 minutes as your body adjusts and you explore the sensation. Breathe deeply and allow any shifts energetically within the body to be felt. Be with your body. Be present. Now, after 10 minutes, roll back over, lifting your hands again, and then bringing them down to your side. Once again, stay here and acclimate. Take your time. Well done. Then it asks you to document how you're feeling in your body and the shifts that you feel occurring. If you get the book, the voice comes along with it, and it actually leads you through the whole 12, 15 minutes of the exercise. And
Oh, that's fantastic.
it has like music that accompanies it and everything.
Oh,
So
wow.
but
Oh, beautiful.
it's so interesting. It's like, I find it interesting because it's not, they didn't give you should do this. They gave
Yeah.
you an exercise to help you feel into your body and your system, and
Mm-hmm.
how what you offer comes back to you
Mm-hmm.
and feeds you. And so my guess is you could really actually focus on different things or think into yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and probably use that exercise to feel how it nourishes you, if it
Mm-hmm.
nourishes you or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm,
That was lovely. Thank you.
so
So
there.
I wanted to share my experience because it
Yes,
solidified my foundation. I mean, I
good.
was submerged in my foundation. and it
Mhm.
just solidified and breathing into it. So it was the breath of solidifying even more and more and more. So it got stronger and stronger and stronger. Oh, it's just beautiful. So that's perfect.
Oh, I'm
You know,
so glad.
it's really interesting that you would share, yeah, I would open to the focus in exercise, and then I received an exercise. Very interesting, because all of these exercises for others, everybody's going to have their own unique experience. And I think that's where it's at. I mean, that's what we're talking about today. It's like it's not cookie cutter, it's not one shirt fits all. Everybody is beautiful and unique in their own way, and going through their own process of awakening, of channeling, of whatever their beautiful gifts are to share with the world.
Mm.
Everybody has a unique process, and I think that exercise was lovely, and I love
Oh.
your voice too. It's beautiful, beautiful voice you have. Beautiful voice you have. I love it.
It sounds like I'm visiting my grandmother, and
Yeah.
it's the wolf. "Oh, what lovely eyes you have. Oh,
That's so funny.
what
I
a
love
lovely
it.
voice you have." Um, no, I appreciate that. It's so fun for me to offer, and this is kind of my foundation is in, what I've built in my life.
Mhm.
And I love how you mentioned my voice because at age 4, my dad was teaching me and my, the oldest 4 in the family to sing together and to
Oh,
harmonize.
oh,
And
love
and
it.
that's when I first felt something move through me, and I felt myself as a vessel, you
Mm,
know?
love
And it was, I continually go back to that experience because it is a part of my foundation
mm,
of what I guess of owning my true essence
yep.
in this life.
Mm, mhm.
And so my voice has always been something that I carry with me as a part of my expression. So
Love
I
it.
love it. I am so glad I got to share that with you.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna take a little deep breath and just enjoy that because now my guys are saying, to me, because 'cause I've been hesitant, even though this has been out for a minute, of sharing with people, and they're like, "See, Gwen, you can do this."
Totally. You just did it.
I just did it.
You just did it, girl.
So, I think that's a beautiful message to me now at this point in my life that I can step out in that way more because
Yeah.
like I told you, Corina, I've spent so much time, uh, loving other people and what they're bringing forward and them connecting in with themselves. And I learned so much doing that, but also I get to share what has come through me. And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
I think I'm feeling that encouragement now today.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely am. So we have a little bit more time left,
Mhm.
and I'm just listening in and tuning into what we can share with people that will be of inspiration to them. Before we go to the last thing, I think I'd love for you to share with people how they can best find you and also like if you're offering classes or anything else like that,
Mhm.
how can they contact you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Through my website, it's www.trine, Trine, healing, healing.com. And you can sign up for my newsletter and to keep, well informed there. Then you can buy my book. My book's on my website, or you can go to Amazon and buy the book. And starting classes very soon. So if you sign up, with your email on the newsletter, you'll find out when it's going to start. So yeah, I'm excited. Just really wanting to share more and more of these exercises, and like you will be
Mhm.
doing too. And it just sharing the information and seeing where it goes. And I think that's just a beautiful piece of sharing information, sharing what you so love and have been devoted to. So, yeah. So that's how
I
you
love
can get a
that.
hold of me.
I love that, and I'm excited to hear, like, more, seeing as this develops.
Mhm.
There's one thing I think want to do before we leave, and
Mhm.
then I am actually feeling inspired to do more singing, which is interesting. And maybe this is a blessing song for you, Corina.
Mm.
But
Wonderful.
I
Thank you.
thought if there's one message that we could leave everyone here who is
Mhm.
listening, kind of connecting into those who will be tuning in and listening, a message for them in their hearts to help
Mhm.
them in their everyday life. We're at a point in the world where we're really fine tuning. We're really going through this alchemical process,
Mhm.
and it can be unnerving at times.
Mhm.
But is there a message that we can offer people at this time so that they can feel the support and know that they can enter into their depths?
Mhm. Um, you know, be true to thyself. I mean, what is your truth? And say yes to yourself and be true to yourself. And anything is possible. Anything is possible. And exploring your core beliefs. What are your core beliefs? And are your core beliefs yours? So that's, I
Mhm.
think, really important to deep dive into and unpack and explore deeper, because there's so much from our past that we bring into the present that doesn't necessarily need to be in the present. And sometimes the belief structures that we've built upon are not even ours. We don't even believe in them. So it's, the deconstruction of that to rebuild and create that beautiful, solid foundation for each of us to
Mm.
um, just really explore and be true to yourself. Be true to thyself is such a beautiful. I say it every day to myself. It's like, okay, what is my truth? Be true to thyself. It's such a beautiful exploration.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that because I've been diving into that exploration even more in the last couple of days.
Hmm.
Some really intense experiences,
Hmm.
and um like the delight. I think there's a beautiful kind of delight that we can go through the process, even though at that point a lot of times we're looking into a lot of pain, you
Hmm.
know. If we go down through the pain, we discover, oh well, this doesn't align with the truth that's deep within me, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
belief that I've been doing, and we don't have to self-criticize. I mean, there are reasons why that occurs.
Yep.
Um, but being in this point of saying, "Oh God, I celebrate that I was able to experience that, and
Hmm.
I celebrate that also
Hmm.
I know I know myself beyond that limiting idea, and
Yeah.
I don't have to live that anymore, you
Hmm.
know? I celebrate, "Wow, isn't that amazing? I can be free of that."
Yeah.
And I think the tendency is to say, "Well, if I let go of something, then I have to cling on to something else," like, or whatever, like, what is the idea that's gonna replace it? And I think sometimes we've been taught to do that. It's like, "Oh, just replace it with a better thought," kind of an idea,
Hmm.
but the truth is, the better thought is just simply me.
Hmm.
It's my core, it's my energy, it's my truth of love,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to necessarily be another idea that replaces it that gets in the way.
Hmm.
It's just really being able to be in the moment and knowing, trusting, like,
Hmm.
that me is love. I'm gonna
Hmm.
show up and I'll figure it out. It'll be figured out,
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
as
But
well.
what you just said too, it always works out, even when you're in the muck, when you're in that mud and you're just, devastated and you're going through the pain. I mean, you, I've been through so many hardships and devastation and loss and just the deepest despair and pain. And
Mhm,
to walk through it, and I mean, you can't jump over it, you can't go under it, you need to go straight through it. If you have to cry hours and hours a day, you do that. You go through it. You wake up in the morning, your eyes are all puffy and you're like, "Oh my God, I feel like a truck ran over me." so be it.
Mhm.
You get
Mhm.
to the other side, and it's not a cakewalk. This journey, this self, discovery journey is not a cakewalk, and
Yeah.
it's just not rose colored glasses and all unicorns and rainbows. Absolutely not. It's, you go through that darkness, you go through that pain. And when you get to the other side, it's like, yes, it's the empowerment there. You empower yourself so you can empower other people to do it,
Yeah.
and to be true to thyself. That rings true for me on
Mhm.
even a deeper level, because you become the warrior. You become the warrior for other people to explore what they need to explore. And I think that that's what we're doing now, more and
Mm.
more every day. It's okay to cry, it's okay to feel the whole gamut of emotions. And how do we master our own self, our own emotions? But we have to go through the all the muck and the craziness to get to where we are. And I
Mm.
think it's so important not to sugarcoat it, or think it's all fluff and woo woo. I can't stand that word woo woo. It's like, no, it's not all woo woo. It's
Yeah,
just not.
I use that word. I use that word just to let people know I'm just not thinking about this physical. I don't know what a lot of normal people are thinking about, and every
Mhm.
day. I shouldn't say I well, I don't say shouldn't say that, probably I can reformat that in my brain of normal people or whatever. We're
What's
all at
normal? I
different
don't know.
levels. We're all living different lives. But I'm with you there. It's so interesting. You're speaking about this and this warrior within us.
Mm-hmm.
And I've I've channeled what they call themselves warriors of light
Mm-hmm.
through the dragons in me, and
Hmm.
I'm asking, they would love to speak concerning this. Okay. They would love to speak concerning this. Quickly see what they would like to share with people today. And they said, and we'll sing too. So that's good. All right. Hello, Gwen, Corina. We are here with you. We are the Warriors of Light. We are here in reverence of what you are sharing, in consideration and honoring of much of the pain that you, both of you, have walked through in order to come and claim yourself, reclaim yourself again. Both of you are in this process in love, honoring the depths of your souls, and that we all must claim ourselves through the pain and then choose the light, choose the love, choose to offer it up for the betterment of our own overall eternal experience. For all that is experienced is offered up in love as a tool of understanding, as a tool of wisdom, as a tool of knowing the facets of what is available in life to be experienced. And that we, as we experience it, we then can turn back to ourselves again in love and reclaim ourselves in further dedication. This is the tool of the warrior, the warriors of light. And as we proclaim we are the warriors of light, we do not separate ourselves from what is considered to be the dark. This is the key thing for many to realize and to recognize. The term light and dark is simply used as a pointer in the movement of what you experience in life. The term light is often used to point you back toward the core experience of you as the seed of all that you are, the infinite expression and the desire to expand, the desire of life to support life, of to consider it in holiness, whatever it may be, and to recognize that even if there is a unique expression, ultimately we are all one and we are not separate. We are all in this together. And as we reach out and support each other, we are also supporting ourselves. And we say, and we remind you that as you reach out and support people, you may do so in different kinds of depths. One is not better than the other per se, but if you are called to in a certain way, know that that is a part of your maturation. That is a part of you in the space that you get to recognize, honor, and reclaim, knowing that that is the phase that you are in. For there are some who support others by offering words of encouragement. There are those who support others by offering a physical space to live. There are those who support others by helping them see into the beliefs that are no longer serving them and causing pain in their life. There are those who serve others by being simply a presence of love. And so there are many ways that we may serve others, that we may support each other in this life. And what we are doing here, both you and this beautiful Corina have offered books. This is a way that you have offered support to this world, growing that beautiful light within you and offering it to come forward as edification, edification for all. We say the word edification, and Gwen is feeling as if she could eat her book. And we laugh, we smile, but this is the truth of it. As we offer up these things, they are energies, they are information that we may take into ourselves, that may nourish our body, soul, systems, our complexes. And then from that, we may then grow our seeds, brighten ourselves, and then offer up to others. When we honor this system, this is the system of a fulfilling life, then we all come together as one. And thus we see we are triumphant. This is the triumph of the light, acknowledging this process, acknowledging that we are in it all together. And as we dare to enter the spaces of not knowing, of some would say terror, we thus are offering up nutrients to each other, information, love, and light. For as you enter into it, you need not identify yourself as the pain, as the sorrow. You simply may identify the experience itself and offer up the intelligence which experienced it, love and light, for it to identify itself before and beyond, within the experience itself as the seed, the light, the consciousness itself, and that it has the power to come back to its source in love and light, to redefine and to reinvest its identity, its character into a new experience. It is this simple. We offer this as a seed, an idea for you to consider and hold within your heart, as many of you may be facing what they consider to be dark places or even dark entities, beings that they pushed away, actual parts of consciousness of themselves which they separated. And we say this not to make you fear in any way, shape, or form, but to bring you comfort, knowing that nothing is lost. We are all here together. And as you believe deeply in your light, believe deeply in your consciousness and the love that you are, you offer this understanding to all that you encounter, all that you uncover, and you bring it into its wholeness. We say this in love to you all, offering a prayer and a song of love to you. Aho. Ya, 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 ah. Yeah, we hold you in love. Yeah, yeah, we hold you in love. We say this and leave you with many blessings, dear brothers and sisters. Aho.
Hmm. That was beautiful.
There
Wow.
you go. You
Beautiful.
know, you never know what's going to come through. That was beautiful. It felt very dedicated. It's like, we're going to really share this with you.
Yeah. Oh, that was amazing. The dark needs the light as much as the light needs the dark. And
Mhm.
that's, the core of it is the balance. And it's,
Mhm.
oh, wait, so what you said is, well, what came through. It's just beautiful. Very
Mhm.
beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been beautiful for me to be able to express that through my being. So,
Yeah.
Karina, I'm feeling like they just really want to bless you and all that you're doing. Your dedication is being felt. I feel it so strongly, and I want to honor you for that, for your dedication. And I encourage all who are feeling drawn to look into her book, to do so, to connect and connect with all that she's sharing with people. Um, any last final words for you before we leave today?
I'm just very grateful to be here. And thank you so much for this opportunity and to share both of our messages out and just the encouraging the process, because it's all within the process of the experience and just to keep going and support our brothers and sisters, and support each other in their process and be there as a listening ear or a shoulder to cry on or, all of that, right? It's being
Mm,
present in the moment for each and every one of us. So thank you for
yeah.
this opportunity to share transference, connect to your soul self and with Edgar and Gladys. It's just an honor to be the steward of this information. So I'm just really, really honored and grateful. So thank you.
Mm, I feel that. I feel that. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
honoring that in my heart for a moment here and sending blessings all who are listening. Feel free to comment. If there's something that's come through to you in this process, listening, and yeah, feel free to subscribe, like, share, all of those beautiful things as we continue our soul play and we play on another day. Love to you all. Bye. Click the link below to receive your very own free soul play meditation, reboot, or soul song. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Welcome to Channeling. Till the next episode, own your stage and play on. Hot Muffin Media.